Email prospecting. It's been the go-to outreach method for decades, and I'm sure you get a lot of emails yourself. But let's be honest, it rarely works the way people think it does. Open rates are shrinking, spam filters are tightening, and inbox fatigue is real. And today's guest breaks down why the old spray and pray approach no longer delivers results and how human connection beats automation every day. Troy Harrison, I got 10 emails just now. How about you?
Jeff, as we were recording this, it's noon Central Time. I've gotten 28 that I've deleted so far this morning. I
Delete.
counted them up just before he started because I thought they'd be a good piece of information. And you took away my spray and pray line, so I'm a little disappointed by that.
That means we're in sync. We're thinking.
Yes, it
No,
does.
but seriously, that spray and pray works across all marketing methods, really, when you think about it. But email marketing, it's easy to do because you can have a huge list and just send and hope and pray and well, spray and pray. Don't send us an email, talk to us. How do you feel about today's topic?
Well, I call email prospecting the Snuggie of sales. It's comforting. It makes you think you're doing something. You know, when salespeople sit there and just blast out emails, makes them feel like they're doing something, but it doesn't really accomplish anything and it doesn't really fill the top of the funnel. And you said something a minute ago that I want to come back to. You said you've got to have a large list. I'm going to say that's incorrect. I think nowadays you got to have a monstrous list because, once upon a time, when we think back to the glory days of direct mail marketing, response rates were considered 1 to 2% was good. In other words, if you sent out 100 direct mail pieces, you get 1 to 2 active responses by your recipients. Email at one time was probably about half of that. I'd say about half to 1% response. And that then dropped off by a tenth, but even at a tenth of a percent, that meant that if you sent out 1,000 emails, you're probably going to get one active response. That rate sucked, but it was better than nothing. And I'm going to say that's dropped by at least 10 more. Because people are just carpet bombed with emails, just like I am. I get, and there are certain market segments that just blow me up. For instance, the list and database industry. I am constantly getting a list of attendees for such and such. I just got one this morning for the list of attendees to the ISSA show, and I'm going to freaking be there. It just amazes me. And some of these emails, I sit there and go, does anybody ever actually buy from them? The answer is probably no. I saw an ad on Facebook a while back for this company that was talking about their great email marketing results. And on this one emailing project, they said they sent out 560,000 emails. Think about that. 560,000, over 500,000 emails. They got 21 responses. And they said, here's 21 responses. Okay, first of all, you've got to be able to gather a database of 500,000 to get those 21 responses. And think about how many of the ones that didn't respond blocked you. Because that's the other danger, is that you can get blocked. So now that I've kind of gone on a little bit of rant here about emailing, let's back it down. Let's talk through it logically. One of the things I always hear salespeople say is, Troy, I want to send out an email to warm up that cold call. I'm gonna send out an email, let them know who I am, and they're gonna remember it. And then when I call, it's gonna warm up that call, and they're gonna be excited to talk to me. It doesn't happen. First of all, that email is probably going to get deleted. Second of all, there's a hell of a good chance that you'll be blocked. And third of all, even if you call 2 hours after the email, they're so bombed by emails, they're not going to remember it. As a matter of fact, it can work the opposite. What I've seen is that sometimes a voicemail increases your read-through rate on an email. If people hear what they can immediately discern to be a live, actual, living, functioning, breathing human being talking to them and giving their name, then sometimes that can actually increase the chance that an email is going to get read. But for an email to get read, it can't be spray and pray. It has to be very personal, it has to be tailored, and it has to be specific. Sometimes the best ways, in my opinion, to approach via a digital message, and again, before I even go down this road, call first. Period. Call first. We're going to talk about how to do that in my session, How to Prospect in 2025 and Beyond at the ISSA show. It'll be on Tuesday, November 11th at 2:30. Be there. But so that's where we're going to talk about the call. But call first, leave a good voicemail, and then if you can look at, for instance, their LinkedIn profile or something that they've posted and find a very distinct hinge that says, here's a reason for us to talk. Then create an email. You, in the subject line, use their name. Here's what I saw. Jeff, I saw this on your profile. Let's talk about it. And then your message needs to be very specific, authentic, and non-generic. Then you got a shot, but it's only a shot. It's still a very low percentage. I personally like to see email used more for lead nurturing, uh, and down funnel communication than I do to see it as top of funnel initiation, because in my opinion, it just hurts you more than it helps you. So yeah, that's why I call it the Snuggie of sales, because here's what it is. Salespeople, most of them nowadays have CRM systems that log their emails that they've sent out. Just like I use HubSpot and it automatically logs my emails. So at the end of the day, their manager pulls up a report and they can look at it and they say, oh, John sent 85 emails. Those 85 emails didn't accomplish anything, but John can say, yeah, I've been prospecting all day. I've been sending emails. But salespeople do it because typically email doesn't tell you no. And even though it generates less results than calling, it's less frustrating. So that's why they do it. That's why they call it the Snuggie of sales.
So, Troy, you mentioned a while ago ISSA show list. Someone's offering to you to purchase that.
Hmm.
I get the same pitches and I work here. So,
That is a well qualified email that they're sending out to you.
yeah, I tend not to pull out my credit card too quickly when I get those offers like that. But and I agree about the call first. Sometimes I'll do a LinkedIn message first and
Yeah.
say I'm gonna also drop you a note. If someone wants to improve their email prospecting based on what we're talking about here, what would be some real quick fixes you would recommend?
Less is more. And when I say less is more, I mean instead of trying to send out 100 emails in an hour or 50 emails in an hour, however many, send email, find 10 people that have a really good reason to want to talk to you. And then your email needs to be very specific, very tailored to the point where they can look at it and go, this email wasn't sent to anybody else. This is a one-to-one communication. One thing we haven't talked about yet, but is worth touching on is AI suspicion. I think it is a growing phenomenon because I see so many people. I even wrote an article about it a little while back. I see so many people. If you see, let's say you see a video of something remarkable popping up on TikTok or Facebook, by the third comment, somebody's saying that's AI, even if it isn't. So what people are craving right now is human to human authenticity. So it needs to read like it was written by human fingers touching a keyboard where that same message wasn't sent out to 1,000 other people. So yeah, I less is more, and then the message itself needs to be short and to the point. Uh, Spammers use long copy in their emails. Authentic salespeople who are trying to connect don't. But my order of preference in initial contact methods, and by the way, I'm going to leave out live networking and trade shows for the moment because I'm intending this is something that salespeople can execute on a day-to-day basis in their office. Order of preference is telephone call, LinkedIn connection, email, and email is way down.
Well, I hear you about that. It's just an easy way to reach out to people. Your AI comments are spot on, and I say that because I received one today, and it had that flavor.
Hmm.
So I take the copy of the email, a little lengthy. I put it into an AI checker, which you can do, by the way. I mean, there's many out there. Grammarly's
Hmm.
one of them. I think there's probably dozens out there. And it said this 100% text is AI generated. Now, if you're sending an email trying to prospect and they can see that it's AI, how much do you really care? I guess that's my question.
I think people are caring more and more. I'm suspicious of AI checkers, and I'll tell you why. A while back, I have a client that I was helping write a job ad to hire salespeople, and they had one of their sales managers who has his own issues. And he read it. He read it, and he told the boss. He said, "Well, I put this in an AI checker, and it said it was written by AI, and it wasn't. It was written like this with my own
Mhm.
fingers on the keyboard. I'm kind of doing jazz hands, I guess. But so then I wrote one using Claude, and my techniques, long prompts, some editing and that kind of stuff. Sent that over, and they put it in the same AI checker, and it said it was 100% human written.
Nothing's for
So,
sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it, and prospecting is another area of marketing, sales, and interpersonal communications where AI is really causing some upheaval. And we'll touch on that in my session too.
All right. Well, Troy, I think we covered it nicely. Any final words of advice that we might have missed?
Not really. I guess the only, and I'm going to plug my session again. If you want to see a complete method for prospecting, Tuesday, November 11th, 2:30 at the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, and you'll have to look up what room it is. I don't have my room assignment yet, but I'm looking forward to it.